Welcome to Life by Design for Chiropractors, episode 142.
Welcome to Life by Design, the podcast for chiropractors. Here's your host, Dr. Jamie Richards.
Hey guys, we're here at the Life by Design Center. I'm hanging out with Kreso. Welcome to Life by Design for Chiropractors. Almost the old Life by Design for Chiropractors on the road. Remember the
two episodes we did like that?
Yeah, but remember Jim Temple and Kent?
Yeah,
doing On Purpose on the Road. I always enjoyed those episodes. I can't imagine what they would bring to those, to set them up in terms of the amount of equipment they would have had to have.
Easier now.
Oh yeah, it's different. And we're here at training camp, and we were just sitting around talking, having discussions about the market and creating a business, talking about different ideas. And I thought this is just really great, authentic content. Of course, it changes the authenticity a little bit when you pull out a camera.
For sure.
But still, I thought this is great. We're hanging out at Charlie's Cafe. If you haven't been to the Life by Design Center, this is what we do at training camp. We just finished a workout. And I thought we'll continue our conversation about marketing and markets. And the point I was making, then I'll throw it back to you, Kreso. We've got Dr. Steve here, our senior associate at Life by Design Center. And we got Vinny here, who's new DC. And just spitballing ideas, really.
Are they going to call you Dr. Vinny?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Fine with that. I'm pretty easy. Dr. V.
Dr.
Vince.
And so one of the questions or thoughts that came up was really about markets. And I was saying that, the hardest business to start is a business where no market exists, right? Because you got to go out and you have to create the market. And where it was coming from, we're talking about a conversion-based Facebook ad that we were looking at in our practice. And we had all these comments, really great comments and prospective patients really asking questions. Do you help with this? Do you help with that? And of course, answering it in the third paradigm model. We have lots of patients with those conditions. Instead of treating those conditions, we'll focus on the underlying spinal related issues, blah, 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 and go ahead and click the link, watch the video, and so on. And what I was saying is, you hear chiropractors say things like, well, my market, right? Well, my market, doesn't, they don't think like that.
Right.
And my point was, it's up to you to get your market to think like that. It's not your market's fault, it's your fault. Really, and that's the point of marketing, right? Is warming up your market to the message that you have. We've been talking a lot at training camp about your core product.
Yeah.
That's the point of having a core product. You can't just create a core product and then expect that everybody in your community magically knows that that's what you do, and that here's the action steps that they need to take. That's on you.
Yeah. Listen, you're a chiropractor, right? You help people. There's no shortage of people who are sick that need help.
Right.
Now you get to define how you want to help them. And of course, there is differences in markets, and we used to think that there was none, right, until you started practicing here in a smaller market, and Mike and I are in a city, and there is behavioral differences that really came out, with lockdowns and with the current state of how people are thinking about things. But at the end of the day, you have a healthcare product and you help people. And there's unfortunately more than enough sick people that need help in your community, no matter what community you help with. Now, you just have to set the boundaries around your core product and what help looks like and what it entails, right? And where your lines are.
Well, I think that's a great point. We were talking at camp yesterday just about, do you niche down into, a specific demographic or a specific psychographic? And what you're saying is exactly what I've seen in terms of success in marketing is focusing more on the fact that we help people.
Yeah.
Right? When you say, well, what's our unique selling proposition? I mean, it's a little generic, say I help people, but you get the idea. For us, we've narrowed it down to, we help people with spinal health related problems, and really anchored ourselves to this idea that we're the spinal health professionals.
Yeah.
And of course, that branches into all kinds of things. And, to bring us back to third paradigm, you might be asking the question, well, but I thought you guys said, you don't treat conditions, you don't. Yeah. Right, but you have to have a bridge. Kreso, you were talking in one of the emails this week about indirect and direct headlines. Maybe that'll give some insight into, how to kind of bridge that gap.
Sure. Well, I was just thinking, it was funny. I can't remember where I met this doc. He was talking about how liberated he felt because, we're talking about, practice should serve you and you should be happy. And then he finally came to the conclusion that he hates seeing kids. He's like, I don't like kids in my practice. Right? And the dream of a high volume practice is to have all these kids running around. He's like, I don't like children. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So like, and you're right, what's my avatar? Well, it's the chiropractic avatar, woman, 35, family. And the only reason you're saying that is because you think that, that's the way to get more people into your practice. That woman is going to understand the
that
mission.
demographic believes what we believe, so they're going to more easily buy in. And I think that, what we're saying is you're actually, I think with that avatar specifically, the thought process, and I know this because I've been in that mindset, is you're thinking, all right, that demographic is going to understand our bigger principles better.
Right.
And that may actually be true, but that doesn't mean that demographic is going to grow your practice. My practice...
Or that they're going to like you or your style.
Or that they want help with a spinal health related problem.
Right.
They may believe that the body is designed to be healthy. They may believe that in a more natural lifestyle, right? These are things that I believe that we're thinking about when we think of that 35 to 45-year-old female.
Yeah.
But my experience is that doesn't always mean that they're interested in addressing their spine.
Or that they have the time to do so. Or that they have
they
have children.
For sure.
Have you seen a mom with 3 kids come and you try to talk to her?
Absolutely.
Stop it. Come over here. You sit down here.
Now, that's not to say we don't have some of those people in our practice.
Of course.
But if I look across the threads of our practice, the market that we've really been focused on, that we see children all the way from birth and people all the way, we have I think 96 or 97-year-old patient. So we have this whole gauntlet. If I was, anchoring my marketing very specific to women that were 35 to 45 with kids, I'd miss on a huge group of people. So in that sense, I guess it is more of a psychographic. People who are thinking, hey, maybe I do have issues with my spine, and these people can help. Now, as a third paradigm doc, talk about the direct and indirect. Yes. That was a big jump for me, and for both of us. I know that for a long time we were very hesitant because we were such purists, and it wasn't until we got that bridge that we felt confident doing that type of marketing.
Yeah, so a paradigm 2 doc who treats conditions, it's really easy, right? Like you have this condition, and chiropractic has been shown to treat this condition, back pain or headaches. So
or not,
right? And you're going to come and I'm going to treat you for this condition. End of story.
Subluxation or otherwise.
Right? Subluxation or otherwise. Whereas, for us, subluxation is not the treatment for any condition, right? So when someone comes to, as I'm knocking stuff over, it's Croatian.
Getting into it.
So that's for the soccer game. But yeah, when someone comes to see you, what you're essentially saying is, okay, I understand that you have these symptoms, but let's hold up. Let me tell you what your body actually needs to be healthy. Here's the list. Now, my focus is on your spine and nerve system, which is a core component to your health that I can fix and correct. Right? Because really what you need to do is, if you want to not just solve this problem, but be a better overall, you need to do all of these things for a long period of time. I'm an expert at this thing, and I can analyze and locate this thing. Do you want to get that correct?
Right. And in terms of the marketing side of it, you're speaking to people, you're still speaking where they're at, but you're not using language, and this is where copy is really important.
Well, this is the thing with Reggie Gold that I found hilarious, right? I rip up the paperwork and throw it away. I'm like, you'd be the dead, because then that person feels unheard, and you're pretty much saying to them that their symptoms don't matter, and what they've been struggling with for the last 5 years, like that guy that just sent you a message. I have stenosis, I'm a burden on my family, I want to die.
I want to die.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, come on, man. You don't treat people like that.
Of course. And, on the front end of this marketing, I think what people need to hear is that it's not as if our copy, our ads, our videos are saying, look, if you have headaches, come in, I'm going to fix them. Right? And that's direct marketing in terms of not direct marketing, but direct headline.
Yeah.
What we're saying is, hey, if you're suffering or experiencing A, B, C, D, E, you may have a spinal health related problem that could be affecting you in the ways that you are experiencing right now. But it could also be affecting you in a bunch of other ways that you have no idea about. And I found that secondary piece of that has been a real game changer, because it's opened up the door and it's created curiosity. And curiosity is a very strong driver in marketing. It's a very strong driver in your conversations with people, because people come in and that case review, they may say, well, I have headaches, and you probe and you ask questions and so on. But when you talk about the structural changes to the spine, the nervous system, and you even open the door that could also be affecting you in a bunch of ways you don't know or feel, you can see the light bulb go off.
Yeah.
Right, and they're looking at, say, the anatomical description of spine and nervous system, and they're like, could this be affecting my digestive system? Because I've been experiencing A, B, and C here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, what you've done is not only opened up that something else could be happening or being affected, but you're also setting the stage that, let's say at the end of your initial phase of care, you've got all kinds of great objective changes, but they don't feel a change in their original symptomatic outcome. Mm-hmm. But they say, you know what, my neck pain hasn't improved, but holy smokes, I can't believe my digestion is so much better. And so, what we're talking about here, and just to wrap up this idea.
Yeah, but even that, so yes, you get that, and here's the thing, right? For some people, that might be enough to see the value in what you're doing, and for other people, it's not enough. They're like, I really wanted this problem
100%,
to be fixed.
100%. But it's probabilities, right? It's like anything. When you talk about health, you talk about the bank account analogy.
I just don't want anyone listening to be like, this is the way that you get lifetime people. All I'm saying is, this is what's authentic to me.
Right.
And this is how I apply it to my practice in my community. And here's the results that you can get from that.
But to be clear, that is how you get more lifetime people.
Well, you're honest with them.
Yeah.
Being honest and upfront and open with what you can deliver is usually a really good business plan.
Of course. We're just telling the truth.
Right.
We're being clinically honest.
As opposed to subluxation is the cause of your problem.
That's right.
Which is
that's
scientifically incorrect.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense.
And a major slippery slope.
Of course.
Right? It works out wonderful when Mrs. Jones' headaches go away, but when they don't go away, you're the bad guy.
I think that's what's super interesting, and we don't discuss that in chiropractic, right? We don't discuss the fact that people come in and they continue, but their chief complaint hasn't changed.
100% happens all the time.
Happens a lot of the time.
I know in school, one, they'll tell you that people like that don't start. Number two, that they're not going to stay if their symptoms don't improve. And that's just not true.
Well, you're devaluing how you think that your market is
just not
stupid.
True. Well, that's it. And just to kind of full circle here, when you're marketing, that's why we stopped really targeting, say, females 35 to 45. Because there's people who aren't in that category who are very interested in the message about, addressing spinal health related problems. The step for me was to give up this pipe dream that I was going to run an ad or run a bunch of ads and people were going to say, wow, the body's designed to be extraordinary. I need to do these 4 things. I want to come and bring my kids and my family and come for the rest of my life. And, again, I'm just a utopian. So I thought, that's what was going to happen. It's like when we opened my first practice and, I honestly believed 1,000% that nobody was going to leave. Like 100%, I was fully committed.
All the other thousands of chiropractors how were stupid before you.
That's right. And again, talk about naive. I fully believed that I would never lose a patient ever. But probably another podcast. But honestly, maybe we'll do that. So we'll end this one, guys, and we'll wrap it up. So thanks for listening to Life by Design for Chiropractors. Kreso, guys, thanks for coming on today. Pleasure. Voice of Reason in Chiropractic.